Hey, what's up, guys? I said to make another video. This time on Clannad. Um, there's Clannad and Clannad After Story. I haven't started watching Clannad After Story yet. I've just finished Clannad. I watched this show before years and years ago, both of them, and I just had a craving to watch them recently. And I was like, let me check it out. And I went to go see, like what physical editions they had, and they had like a regular version, but it was so fucking ugly and it didn't have a slipcover. I'm like neurotic about that shit. I gotta have like things with a slipcover, like especially anime shit. I need like a slipcover. But so I ended up getting this expensive ass edition, which is like out of print, but it includes both. Beautiful artwork on there, actually. Nice slipcase. But yeah, so I decided, let me check this out. And I picked it up and I immediately started watching it, and damn, Clannad is good. I haven't seen Clannad After Story, like I said, in like years and years and years. I have a vague memory of some things, but not much. But just going into this, Clannad is like a anime based off a visual novel. At least I think it's based off that. I saw that there was a manga and stuff too, but I don't know. Um, it was like one of those dating sim visual novels, and it's with all these different characters and stuff. But in anime, they have to end up with someone, so they're mostly focused on one person. And if anyone's wondering, like if anyone sees this and they know about this set, it does come with I forget. It does come with I can't find her on here. Anyway, here it does come with her OVA, where it's if he ends up with her, which I think she's like my second or first choice or something like that, like after Nagisa. I'm just gonna like talk spoilers or whatever. If you haven't seen the show, check it out. Very good. 23 episodes. They go by really quick. Like you kind of finish them, you're like, damn. Also, I could kind of recommend watching this in English. I watched it in Japanese, but I heard some of the English voice acting. I gotta say it was pretty good, and like the jokes in there like hit hard with the English voice acting. But anyway, getting into the show, like I said, it's basically like a romance thing. It's about this guy Tomoya, who uh or Okazaki or whatever. I don't I don't know. Um, and he's going to school. He's doing the same thing every day. He doesn't really give a shit about anything. He's like a delinquent, and it's he has his own problems or whatever. So a lot of this show is about him helping out other people. That's like what most of the show is basically, and that's how like kind of these girls fall for him and stuff like that. And each one of them kind of has their own like, well, not their own arc, well, a little bit, showing who they are and why you'd like them, and choosing kind of who you'd wish you'd end up with. um from what I saw, there's not like an OVA of every single one like that gets together, and I don't know who exactly the choices are in the visual novel. Like I said, it's like an old ass visual novel. I haven't seen it in like I've never seen it, but I was thinking about checking it out eventually, because I've played a few before. But yeah, anyway, so it's like that, but it's mostly like it's showing the girls. There's like these different arcs, um, which like the string kind of connecting all is Tomoya, and I just think that like it's really well done. The first arc is really good. Like all of them are good. There wasn't really one where I'm like, oh, hurry the fuck up. Um, because like I said, it focuses on like different girls, but it's like they join together where it's like, okay, we're a group now, we're doing this, but it's something pretty good where like you like all the characters and stuff. I love I can't remember like the guy's name, but Tomoya's best friend, the guy with the blonde hair, he is fucking hilarious. And if you hear his voice in the English dub, I swear to God, I know him from somewhere, but I cannot place it. Is it? I was thinking it might be. Oh, I think it's Heaven's Lost Property. I think that's what it is actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Um, yeah, but anyway, so getting back into this, so it's like, yeah, like I said, there's different arcs. It starts like the main overall plot is Tomoya meets this girl named Nagisa who wants to create a what's the word for it? A drama club basically to do a play because she's been sick. a lot of her life, and she's always wanted to do that, but she hasn't been able to. And she's been held back a year because she was so sick last year that she wasn't able to do it. So, and now she doesn't know anybody. But Tomoya comes up to her, and talks to her, and they kind of become friends. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll agree to help you." And he's like, they ask like why, and he's like, I don't really know." But I think a lot of it has to do with like just him not wanting to go home because of his family situation and stuff like that. Which I think it fits, like it does make sense, and I like Tomoya as a character. Like he's a good guy, like he says what he thinks, and he does like these fucking hilarious ass pranks, which are funny as fuck. Like I was like kind of laughing my ass off at a few of them. Um, but yeah, it was pretty good. And so it's like that, and then someone will come in, like that needs help or needs to do something else, and they'll be like, okay, well, Nagisa will want to help them, and he's like, yeah, okay, well, basically whatever, or like he'll just help them because he wants to, and it's mostly like that, it's like it's set at the final year of like a high school. I'm not really sure how much time passes between uh the beginning and the end, but it's I don't know. It's interesting, like I said. Anyway, so the first arc is with this girl. I can't remember her name, but it is such a fucking good arc, and it's so sad but funny. But like the chemistry between Tomoya and her are so fucking funny, and the whole starfish shit is so funny. Um, it's like like it's just something where it's like she's carving the wooden starfish, and everyone thinks it's a star. Well, not everyone thinks it's a star. It's like, why the fuck are you carving starfish? And, it was funny. It was just funny. And then you like, I know, like, if you haven't watched this, you're fucking completely lost at what's going on. But fuck it, I'm talking people who either have seen it or you're interested. um but yeah, so that's like the first one is he tries to help this girl get people to go to her sister's wedding by giving them these wooden starfish, and obviously, spoiler, it turns out that she's like a ghost, but not a ghost. It's like that movie. What the fuck is it? Better than better than heaven. I don't know. I can't remember that movie. The one with Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon, where she's like in a coma, but she's like talking to him and stuff like that, and they live in the same apartment. It's like that, um, where she's like in an accident and nobody notices, but a lot of people like know her, but she can't talk to her sister and all that. So it's like it's a little weird and confusing how that shit kind of works, because it's like it seems like everyone else can notice her, but when they slowly start like revealing that people are forgetting her, it's so fucking sad and hits so hard. And then at the end, when they both forget her and then they remember her and then they forget her again, and she just continuously appears throughout the season, like with the fucking anime Sailor Moon type like entrance, is funny as fuck with the starfish and everything. And she's like, oh, I'll help with this, and then she ends up like not being able to do anything, or like completely unhelpful, and everyone's like, who is this? Like, I feel like I know you from somewhere, because everyone forgot. That was funny. Like, that was funny seeing her come in every once in a while, for help, and then she literally never helps. Um, but that original arc was sad because I thought she was gonna die at first. I really didn't remember what happened to her. Like I said, I barely remember the show, so like I knew she was like apparition, whatever. Because they're questioning it at first. I knew that she was, but I did not remember the extent or like what happened or whatever. Um, I don't know. That's kind of like the plus of not watching something like 10 plus years is you don't remember a lot. So it's almost like I'm watching this for the first time, except I remember some big story beats, um, that happened. So, but yeah, so that one is the first arc, and then which they don't really set up any romance between her and Tomoya. Like she's more like a child. Like she's like she's the same age, but she acts like a child. Whatever, they make that whole thing. And I don't know if they ever really said anything. They've like a little bit do towards the end when they tease like when Tomoya's getting like lunch and everything from every girl, and he has to eat it all, and she pops in out of nowhere, and she's like, "Oh, eat my lunch too," and, like something like that. Like, but otherwise, not really, because that's mostly like a triangle arc of you know, Nagisa, Tomoya, and I can't remember her name, but and her. But it's more like they're kind of parents to her and stuff like that. The next arc is with his childhood friend. which he didn't remember was his childhood friend. That was interesting. I had no recollection of that at all either. Um, I forget her name, but she's the really smart one who's like so intelligent. She doesn't have to go to classes or anything like that. She can just do whatever she wants. And Tomoya ends up meeting her and talking to her and stuff like that. But then I don't know if you can hear that. There's a train. I'm gonna try to see if I can get rid of that in post. But anyway, yeah. So, um, he doesn't remember that. He's trying to recruit members for the drama club, and then he ends up. I think that they would have been a good couple. They didn't romanticize them enough. I think besides Nagisa, which is always like it's on their side. Besides Nagisa, it's really like he's kind of like just a chill dude, like going around doing whatever, helping people out and stuff like that. So I don't really think like it's mostly like, oh, how does he feel? You know how the girls feel in the beginning. You don't really know, but um, yeah. But like I said, really quick. So just going into that, I would like her and him to get together, the childhood friend, or the the older. I don't know if it's the older twin or just the one that like almost runs Tomoyo over with the scooter all the time. I think that they had pretty good chemistry in that scene where it's obvious she cares about him, but her sister is also in love with him, and it's like I don't really care about the sister that much. She's okay, but it's like they didn't have as much chemistry as she and Tomoya did. Yeah, and I would like to see that. I know that there's an OVA with that. That's not included in the first Clannad. If it's an after story, I will let you know because I was a little actually disappointed. I'm like, where the fuck is this shit? But yeah, so basically, that's that's how that goes. But yeah, so it would be between those two I picked, and then I did like the where you become student president. She was like the third, but I just watched that OVA with her. Well, she wasn't the third. She was like the number one for me. But watching that OVA was like, bro, it was kind of depressing, dude. Like, yeah, they end up together, but like most of the thing is just them being fucking depressed and shit, man. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, bro, come on. Like, it was just them being apart. It's like this is the only chance you see them romantically in anime. So it's like I would like to see them actually being together, not having their issues or whatever. But they end up together, which is cool. They don't kiss, which I wonder is if because he didn't kiss Nagisa in the main series yet, or I'm pretty sure he does or something. Like I remember that like they have sex and like they just kind of reveal it like after the fact and they're like, oh yeah, we fuck or whatever. Not like that, but there's stuff like that in After Story. But like I said, I don't remember how much of After Story is like. I don't really want to spoil After Story just because I'm already spoiling Clannad. If you haven't seen After Story, go watch After Story. But um, the time skip basically. Like I'm wondering how far into the season does that thing happen, and then there's the time skip. But yeah, so I thought that was a little. I was honestly a little disappointed with that. Watching that, it had its funny moments, but it was mostly like just them separated. And I did like what they did with like, oh, you're so much better than me. You'll go so many far places because she would. And I feel like that's a very kind of real feeling to have. You're not good enough. You're not. Uh, like stuff like that. I think that was well done. I just think like for it being like an episode length thing for them to be like separated most of the time is a little disappointing. So, but there's like I said, there's also the OVA with the twin, which I've seen that before, but I don't really remember at all. I think it might be an after story because I feel like there's like a Clash reunion or something. I don't know, but um, yeah. So anyway, so going back, there's that the smart girl. There's her arc and what happened to her and her parents, and that shit was good. I honestly didn't remember any of that, so I was like, "What the fuck?" Like that shit hit hard. That was pretty good. Um, what was the next one? The next one was the fuck was the next one? I'm trying to think here. I know the first one was the Starfish Girl. I know for a fact that's what that was. The second one was. I think the third and fourth one are kind of like split between the twins and the student council lady, which, like I said, they had really good chemistry. So that's one I would like to, what I would have liked to see more of. That was the OVA I was talking about. But also just the older. I feel like she's the older twin. I don't know what she is, but she just has that vibe. Obviously, it's only like a few minutes, but it's like the whatever. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so they also have good chemistry. Like I said, they all have good chemistry. And yeah, so it's that, and then they focus after episode 18. I gotta say, the rest of it feels like an epilogue, right? Like well, kind of an epilogue. Like when Tomoya like moves out of his dad's house and into Nagisa's house, which her parents are awesome, by the way. I really like them. They're funny, and the whole like pastry thing is really funny. With he's like, oh, the pastry's a piece of shit. She always runs out. That's funny. I just love that. I don't know. It's good. It's good thing. It's a good like chemistry thing. And then so he moves in with them, and he's kind of like seeing what it's like to have a normal family, which I feel like, I don't know, that shit always kind of hits home for me, like, because I've never had a completely regular family. I'll get, not regular, nothing's regular, but you know what I mean, like the hanging out together, doing all this shit, and that shit always, like, when he's like, oh, that feels weird, like that doesn't, that, there are really families like this, do people do this? It's like, yeah, that's exactly how it is, but, and then him and Nagisa end up together. I was a little annoyed at Nagisa towards the end when they're doing the school play, and she like freezes up, and it was like I was getting annoyed as fuck because I'm like, bro, because she finds out that her parents gave up their dreams for her or whatever, which I mean, they did, but also it's like, I don't know, it just felt like we've done all this shit, we worked so hard for this, and you're gonna like do this shit. Like when he was kind of like just pull it together for the show, we've all worked hard on this, it was kind of like, yeah, like that's reasonable, like bro, come on, like. And also the parents should have just said something. Like, and also the story that they said, like with how they decided to give up their dreams and open this bakery and stuff like that. It was like, that was like some shit, like, yeah, you couldn't handle having your dreams and, being a parent. Like you literally left your child sick as fuck in bed and they almost died out in the snow waiting for you. Yeah, I think that's not her fault. So it's like something where it's like, they're like, yeah, she'll blame herself and it's not her fault. But it's just like, it's annoying either way. It's like, come on, dude. Like, but then he ends up confessing his feelings for her, and that's kind of weird. It's a weird. I don't know if like I think the regular sets do. It's episode like 1. They say there's 23 episodes, but then there's like the extra, and then there's the OVA. So it was a little weird with that because it didn't feel like the end. Which it isn't, Clannad after story. But like I said, I don't know how far ahead that skips or what, like in the beginning. I don't know. Like I'm just very, but I was gonna start watching it right after I finished. But I wanted to make 2 videos on it just so I could, I don't know, make 2 videos basically. But yeah, so this was, like I said, this is a good show. Recommend it. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Who is the best girl? Let me know. Is Nagisa the best girl? If she is to you, right? And she kind of is to me. I don't know. I'm like very, but I think she is. Even if she is, who's your next? Like, who would you pick Tomoya to be with if it wasn't Nagisa? I'd really like to hear that because I want to hear other people's opinions. If you played the visual novel, let me know. Like, is it actually worth playing, or not? But also the music slaps. I wanted to mention that. And the Dango family song actually sounds good. Not in English. I heard it in English. I didn't like it. But the Dango, they said like Da Kazoku or something like that. It sounds good. But in English it don't sound as good. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for this one. Like I said, Clannad After Stories probably next. After that, I'm not sure. I ordered some anime online recently because I sold some stuff on eBay, so I ordered something, but I don't want to spoil what it is yet. But anyway, that's about it. Peace.